So my name is Alec Doomadgee, and I'm from the Wanyi, Gungaleta and Garawa peoples of the lower Gulf of Carpentaria up in Doomadgee. My link to the deadly heart trek and also the rheumatic heart disease fight is one that's very personal to me. I had a sister, Della George, that died of rheumatic heart disease back in 2006, and I've had a young sister, Adele Sandy, that died in really tragic circumstances on the 30th of May back in 2020 from rheumatic heart disease, but also from systemic racism and institutionalized racism within the health system in my hometown of Doomadgee and the Queensland health system. Unfortunately, a week after her death, a young daughter of mine that's been living with rheumatic heart disease since she was 7 years old, young Shakaya George, that I helped raise and had to deal with and live with rheumatic heart disease all her life. She died at the age of 17. A week after we buried my sister, she then fell ill and died in my arms at the Mater Hospital in Brisbane in September 2020. And I felt that rheumatic heart disease wasn't on the agenda of the Australian government, and that we needed to address it. It's the highest killer of Aboriginal people, especially Aboriginal women, in my hometown of Doomadgee. And I started getting very boisterous about it, and I wanted to be the voice of my daughter Shakaya and my sister Adele, and I wanted to bring rheumatic heart disease to the forefront of Australian society. And I fought hard enough, and I yelled and screamed and stomped my foot hard enough that the Four Corners program heard about what I was doing, and a journalist called Louise Milligan did a story on us back in 2022, and it brought about a coronial inquest into the deaths of my beautiful family members, my daughter and sister, and another young lady, a niece called Betty Booth. So it's been a long fight and a long journey. The coronial inquest wrapped up back in June, and we had the coronial findings on the 30th of June, which, some recommendations have now been passed down that the Queensland government and the Queensland Minister for Health has come out publicly and stated they're going to implement in Queensland. So I've come along here today to make sure their voices were heard here in federal parliament, and to get an opportunity to speak to some of the senators like Senator McCarthy and also the Indigenous Affairs Minister, Minister Burney, to speak on behalf of my daughter Shakaya and also on behalf of my sister Adele and all of our family members up in Doomadgee in the lower Gulf region that have, don't have a voice or have been, out of sight, out of mind. So I feel like I'm representing, my mob, but also being an advocate for the eradication of rheumatic heart disease.